She stood quietly in the security line, worn duffel slung over one shoulder, hair tucked neatly beneath a plain cap. Her clothes were simple, jeans, an old sweatshirt, no jewelry, just a face that looked tired, maybe from the red-eye flight, or maybe from something far older than that. It was a busy morning at the airport. People rushed by with rolling suitcases and coffee cups, business travelers glued to their phones, families corralling kids. The woman said nothing, kept her head low, and inched forward with the line. To the world around her, she was invisible. Another quiet face in a crowd too busy to look closer. But not everyone was too busy. Two agents at the security checkpoint kept glancing in her direction. Not obviously, just that subtle sideways look people give when they think they've spotted someone who doesn't quite fit. When it was her turn, she placed her bag gently on the belt, removed her shoes, and waited to be waved through. But this time, the buzzer didn't sound. One of the agents stepped forward, hand raised. "Ma'am, we're going to need to inspect your bag." She nodded once. No protest. No sign of surprise. Just quiet acceptance. They pulled it off the belt and opened it right there. No private screening room, no hushed discretion. Right there in the middle of the line in front of dozens of strangers, now watching with raised eyebrows and sideways smirks. The agent began pulling items out, one by one. A paperback novel, a toothbrush, a pair of running shoes wrapped in a grocery bag, a crumpled sweatshirt. Nothing threatening, nothing out of the ordinary. And then he reached into the bottom. What he pulled out stopped everything. A perfectly folded military dress uniform, preserved with care inside a plastic garment bag. The metal shimmered even in the dull airport light. The flag patch on the sleeve was faded but proud. Underneath it, nestled in the folds, was a photo in a zippered pouch, black and white, weathered, of a much younger woman in full combat gear, helmet off, dirt on her face, staring into the camera with the quiet confidence of someone who had seen things few would ever understand. For a moment, no one moved. The agent's hands froze midair. His eyes scanned the uniform, then flicked to the woman standing calmly in socks, her gaze lowered, her expression unreadable. People nearby had gone silent. Someone whispered, "Wait, is that hers?" Another murmured, "That's a silver star." Suddenly everything felt heavier. The air, the silence. The eyes that had once been suspicious now looked uncertain, embarrassed. The agent gently set the uniform back in the bag. He zipped it closed more carefully this time. He didn't say another word. The woman stepped forward, gathered her things slowly, and began putting her shoes back on. She didn't make eye contact, didn't offer a smug smile. She didn't need to. Her story had already spoken for her. She had served, and not just served. She had fought, bled, and carried the weight of silence that so often comes with being a woman in uniform. She'd stood shoulder to shoulder with men twice her size. She had seen combat zones most couldn't pronounce. She had come home not to parades or headlines, but to quiet lines like this where suspicion sometimes outweighed gratitude. But she never complained, never corrected anyone, because that's what warriors do. They don't need the world to clap, they just need to get home. And she was almost there. She grabbed her bag and walked forward. Past the agents, past the stunned passengers, past the looks that now carried shame instead of suspicion. No one stopped her this time. They only watched as she disappeared into the terminal, a folded uniform tucked under her arm and the quiet dignity of someone who didn't need to prove herself anymore. We often think we can see people clearly at a glance, but some stories are stitched into silence. Some heroes carry no banner, no title, no demand for recognition. Sometimes the person we judge most harshly is the one who sacrificed the most. And sometimes all it takes is a glimpse inside their story, a folded uniform, a faded photo, to realize we were never looking at a stranger. We were standing in front of a protector. So next time you're quick to judge someone by how they look, how they carry themselves, or how quietly they move through this world, remember, the loudest service is often done in silence, and the greatest strength folds neatly at the bottom of a worn duffel bag